2. Clement Berthet is there. The crowd is out this Thursday afternoon in Andalucia to see this fantastic finale, another uphill finale, and it's Enric Mas who goes again. Clement Berthet has rolled up nearer to the group, and at the moment Tom Pidcock and Pavel Sivakov caught at the back. It's unlikely that Sivakov will be able to take this one after all the work he's done, but we'll see. It's now Clement Berthet who goes on the outside, much narrower now through the streets of Torre del Campo. They've got another right-hander to come just yet. It's narrow and technical here. Could be, possibly, an opportunity of making sure you lead first into that last corner too. It's Berthet who's got it, but he's backed off and looking around to see if anyone else wants to come through. This is 6 riders at the front of the race, 5 riders, sorry, at the front of the race who are going to contest this one. Tom Pidcock must know that he's probably the most likely snappy winner here today. He won't want to mess it up. There are no time bonuses available. He might want to see if he can put some time into Sivakov. Maybe. He looks round to Sivakov, Pidcock. Pidcock is either nervous about Sivakov or he's watching Rivera. So being a former teammate of Brandon Rivera, he might know something about Rivera that I've not already mentioned. We'll watch it because so far the Ineos Grenadiers man hasn't done anything and he sits at the back of his group. He was dropping off and I wondered whether he was going to try and take a flyer. But it's quite a long rise to the line, Magnus. 2 kilometres to go.
Yeah, it's still a long way off. I think Sivakov here now getting to the front. He's starting to probably worry a little bit more about the time that they're losing playing this game here because, you know, he wants to have as big a time gap as he possibly can to the rest of you know, the favourites, let's call it. But Pidcock definitely more like looking around, making sure he doesn't get jumped and having to close the gap, especially as the road starts going up steeper relatively soon here now. You don't want to be chasing.
Well, if anyone's just recently joined us for this, the finish of stage 2 of the Vuelta A Andalucia, the Ruta del Sol, I can tell you the yellow jersey is pretty much, well, we're certain, going to change today because Maxim van Hilst, winner of stage 1, is stuck in Group 2 at the moment, who are going to probably be a minute and a half or so down on this leading group that contains Pavel Sivakov, who did so much yesterday for Tim Wellens specifically, but today he's had his own chance, and that's why we're seeing him back on the front. He stands to take over that yellow jersey today. There are no time bonuses at the finish, so the finishing order of these riders doesn't matter too much as long as there's not gaps between them. Pidcock, though, might fancy trying to move up a little bit more. He lost about 35 seconds yesterday. There we go, another of those steeper sections. Look at that. That leads up to the Flamme Rouge. The final kilometre inbound, you can see 400 metres to get up to that point as well. This finale, another classic Ruta del Sol tough one. And at the moment, they must know it, Magnus. They're waiting. The end game is not being played out just yet.
No, it definitely hasn't. But this is where the road now gets steep indeed, and it doesn't really let off until 200 meters to go. There's a couple of slightly flatter sections, but largely it's very steep uphill.
Gashy now, it is. As Magnus pointed out, for Total Energies on the front. And the race leader there, the yellow jersey of Maxim van Hilst, sitting second wheel. We're not seeing time gaps at the moment back to them, so we'll just wait until the finish line to see what the gap is back to Maxim van Hilst, but we are certain he's going to lose the race lead because Pavel Sivakov will probably be the new leader. Well, he will be the new leader from this group. Clement Berthet knows he's kind of got to at least stay with Sivakov and see maybe if he can get a little gap on Sivakov as well, moving right up in GC. You can see how tough it is here as they're weaving around. I think Tom Pidcock is keeping a bit of an eye on Brandon Rivera, and I think, Magnus, that might be the fact that they're old teammates. They've probably ridden together a fair bit, and he'll know him.
Oh, look, they've lost a good 30 seconds, maybe even closer to 40 seconds here over the last kilometre or so, because they're playing the game of winning the stage.
Sivakov going left-hand side from the back of the group, Pidcock on the front, so a good opportunity for him to try and get a gap on Pidcock, and this is all in for Pavel Sivakov now. This will be probably, I have the thought right now, his last effort, and if anything, he'll have to now try and keep going, because this is about building and getting into that yellow jersey. Brandon Rivera has gone with Tom Pidcock, so maybe that watching of his old teammate might be something we'll come back to. Pidcock has already gone a couple of times. Has he got one more move back in there? Enric Mas up alongside Brandon Rivera. This is inside the final kilometre, and at the moment Clement Berthet is distanced as well. He needs to get back on terms with Pavel Sivakov and make sure there aren't too many gaps between them, because he'll be moving right up on general classification. Still, the Colombian Brandon Rivera hasn't made his move. He's up on the shoulder almost of Tom Pidcock, who sits second wheel. Pidcock has been more conservative than yesterday. I think had this been a day before, he'd have been maybe chucking in another attack back here. We're watching Maxim van Hils on the front of Group 2, but it just like that, he's come back in, Clement Berthet, and he hits them now. They wouldn't have been expecting that, and I don't think we were either. That's a last move, surely, from Clement Berthet, who was looking like he was on the edge of it, Magnus.
That is very much try and eliminate any further attacks and just try to set a strong tempo here, but I think Brandon Rivera is looking sharp. He's looking very snappy.
Yeah, he's been in the saddle a little bit more than the others, the Colombian too, for Ineos Grenadiers. He looks really good. Right on the shoulder of Tom Pidcock. He's been in the shadow of Tom Pidcock so much of this. Enric Mas now rolls up again. Clement Berthet, that's got to be it for him, surely. Mas now starts to wind it up, and we are going to take it down to a sprint. Sivakov leading out on the outside. Sivakov still looking good at this stage. What has Tom Pidcock got left, and what has Brandon Rivera got from him? Pidcock has to be the favourite from here. The Brit goes now for Q36.5. Tom Pidcock opens a sprint on the drops. He's got Rivera with him. I don't know if Rivera's got much left from this. Tom Pidcock is going to win stage 2 of the Ruta del Sol. What a comeback from yesterday for Pidcock, where he shook his head crossing the line, saying he'd done too much. And he takes some air off the speed bump, crosses up as well. I don't think I've ever seen that before, Magnus.
No, it's not your usual victory salute, is it? But yeah, great ride by Tom Pidcock again. He was definitely annoyed with yesterday and played that out very, very smart indeed.
I do see how much photographer there to get that, because that'll make quite the shot.
No doubt.
The riders behind him.
Someone will have got it.
Cyclocross rider right there, isn't it? He's like he was riding the washboard in, on a whoopie cross course or something. Right, this is Group 2. Marcus Hulgaard is leading. He's got Ruben Guerrero with him. I predicted that Guerrero would dust the rest of these guys in this sprint, but of course he has got Maxim van Hils with him, who is also a very good finisher. Guerrero's going to go for it, though. He goes down for the drops too. Hulgaard is leading to the line, the Norwegian road race champion. No time of bonuses, don't forget, but actually Maxim van Hils is going to work hard all the way to the line anyway, because he's trying to limit his losses as best he can. 1 minute and 10 seconds. Van Hils coming across the line first of that second group, but 1 minute and 10 seconds back to this group. Enric Mas, a little pat on the back of the winner, Tom Pidcock. Fantastic stage, Magnus. I really enjoyed that.
That was very entertaining indeed.
Yeah, and he'll be happy. That is Tom Pidcock's 8th professional victory on the road. He is, of course, I'll remind people,